Hola, ¿cómo estás? I'm Juan Diego Alam from SpanishHacks.com, and today we're going to talk about the 5 hacks to start speaking Spanish if you are a very beginner learner. Did you know that you can have a conversation in Spanish even if you don't know any word in Spanish? Keep watching to the end of the video and you can receive a gift to use in your first conversation in Spanish. ¡Vamos! If you are the kind of person who have learned Spanish at school, but you haven't achieved that goal to have a real conversation in Spanish yet, then you need to know these 5 hacks which will make you feel more confident in your Spanish speaking. Just picture yourself having a real conversation to a native speaker tomorrow. Literally tomorrow. Wouldn't that be better than any progress you have made until now in a language school? With one, I'm just starting to learn Spanish. I don't know how to pronounce the words in this language, and of course I don't know how to start a conversation in Spanish yet. Actually, if you don't know a word in Spanish yet, you are on the best stage of your language learning, because you don't have any pollution from grammar or the perfection they teach us at school that we should get before we think about starting a conversation in this language. So forget about that. Let's start with the hacks to approach the language, to gain motivation and make your first conversation in this language at the very beginning of your Spanish learning. First hack is be sure that you don't have any limit belief about language learning. I'll go quickly with this. If you are the kind of person who always thinks that, kids are better than adults to learn a language, or learning a language is so expensive for me, or I don't have the time to learn Spanish, solve this first in your mind. Nothing of this is 100% true, and we say as an excuse for our lack of confidence to use the language in the real world, in a real situation. So being the person who makes excuses about this and start taking action to achieve your goals in this language and in any area of your life. You can learn any language if you start taking action, but most importantly, if you approach the language correctly, not by starting from grammar. Hack number 2 is look for a language partner to practice your Spanish. This is crucial because you need another person to speak the language, right? I mean, you can keep watching movies or series in Spanish and you're going to boost your listening skills. But to be honest, that's only a part of the Spanish learning. And that's going to be good if you want to just understand the language. But if you want to communicate with people, you need to use the language, you need to speak, you need to have conversations. And the only way to do that is to actually go and have a real talk to any Spanish speaker or any person who speaks Spanish. It's very simple. Just write a message, show interest on the person, check out their profiles, to see if you have something in common, and write a message. Please don't copy and paste your messages once and once again and again and again. By doing this, you're going to only push people away from you. And this is very important because I've heard about many people who are, just trying to get a language partner, but they can't because they just made a sample message and they send it to multiple people. That's not cool, because if you want to start learning a language, then you're going to lose your motivation because you're going to think, oh, nobody wants to practice with me, or this website is just shit because I'm not able to find anyone. It's very simple. Just write a message, show interest on the person, and if you're not yet sure how you can write a very good message to get your first language partner, or you've been trying for so long without any success, you can of course write me a message, whether on Facebook or Instagram. I'm going to let my profiles down below on the description of the video. Oh, by the way, I'll let you the link to italki.com in case you want to join to this website on the description of the video as well. The hack number 3 is use a conversational guideline in your first conversation in Spanish. If you are a beginner learner, then this is, I would say, the most important hack for you. This conversational guideline that I'm talking to you about, it must contain different phrases and questions to use in your first conversation. So you need to have these phrases and questions in Spanish and in English, so you can just be aware of what you are actually saying or asking to your partner. And the way to use this conversational guideline, I mean, you can make it like, you know, just writing some questions and then translating them on Google, and that's going to work very well. But you know, if you have the opportunity, just Google it, and probably you can find the most important phrases and questions in Spanish. Still, I need to tell you, you're going to probably feel a little bit frustrated if your first conversation, you know, lasts only 3 or 5 minutes in Spanish. But this is very normal, and this is the point of this hack, because if you try this, you're going to have your first 3-5 minute conversation, and the next time you're going to have a 5-7 minute conversation, and so on and so on. So if you can do this, just picture, just imagine how many minutes you can, you know, get in a real conversation in 1 month, in 2 months. And in 2 months you can, you know, be having a 60-minute conversation, probably in a Tarzan Spanish, but you're going to have a 60-minute conversation. That's better than anything. In 2 months, I had my first conversation in Russian without knowing anything about the alphabet. And, you know, I could have a 15-minute conversation the first time. It was super awkward, super uncomfortable, and it was super difficult to understand some things and whatever. But at the end of the day, I felt really motivated, because, you know, if you have this conversation, even if you speak like Tarzan, you're going to realize that you can actually have more minutes in a conversation. You start becoming familiar with the language easier and faster than just, you know, making some grammar exercises or reading some books about the language or whatever. Give you the opportunity to try this, and you're going to see how much you can boost your Spanish learning. Spoiler alert, I'll give you a conversational guideline for you to use in your first conversation in Spanish. All details at the end of the video. The hack number 4 is use a translator to extend the conversation as longer as possible. Alright, so you have to keep your conversational guideline open during the whole conversation. Your objective, once you are in the conversation with a native speaker, is to extend the conversation, and the tool to do this is using the translator to wait for the reply once you ask any question or you said any phrase, and wait for that reply from your language partner. Then you have to ask her to write that down on the chat of the video call service you are using, and then you just copy and paste it on the translator so you can actually understand what the person said to you, then reply in the right way again. Once you translate that, be sure to add the translation and the Spanish phrase to your conversational guideline in order to use that next time and extend the conversation more and more. This is going to help you to get used to the Spanish listening. The only thing that you need to be aware is never translate any paragraph, and just keep it simple. Just translate words or simple phrases to add to your conversational guideline. The hack number 5 is set a clear objective for your Spanish learning. So the reason number one why people actually quit their Spanish learning or their language learning is because they don't have a reason or a clear objective why they are doing this. If you don't want to lose the motivation, just sit down for a moment and think about why are you learning Spanish. Write that down and then put it on your phone as a wallpaper or print it and paste it on your room so you can read it every day. Reading this every day is going to help you to remember why you are doing this, and then losing the motivation is going to be more difficult, and I would say that it's actually not going to happen at all. This is going to take you probably 10 or 15 minutes, the whole process to write it down, to think about it and whatever, but it's going to be worthy if you want to keep motivated all along the path. These are the 5 hacks to start speaking Spanish if you are a very beginner learner or if you have been afraid to use the language for so long. Now, if you want to get your conversational guideline, the only thing that you need to do is to click on the link on the description down below of this video and then write your email, and I'm going to send it to you in just 30 seconds. Alright, so are you going to start speaking the language, or will you be seated on your couch without doing anything at all? If you do it, just let me know how your experience was on the comments down below of this video, and it's going to help me to make more videos to help you on this process. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you on the next video with another new hack. Don't forget to subscribe and turn that little bell down below if you want to know when I uploaded a new video. Nos vemos!